Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here. Hope you guys are doing well. So Deontay Wilder took to social media recently to announce that he and Luis Ortiz have agreed terms for a rematch and that a date and venue would be announced later. Now the boxing world, apart from the Deontay Wilder fangirls, reacted to this news with great disappointment and frustration. And I share those feelings if I'm being honest. I mean, this rematch is utterly pointless, and it goes to show Deontay Wilder has no interest in making the fight we want to see. If Deontay Wilder had any interest in making this fight, he would have waited until Joshua versus Ruiz finished. Depending on the result, he would then try to negotiate with Joshua and see where that takes them. But no interest in that whatsoever. He'd rather fight this dusty old Cuban who he's knocked out already. A fat 40-year-old lump with high blood pressure. Did you see the state of him after the Dominic Breazeale fight, Luis Ortiz? He looked in terrible shape. And you're telling me this is a good fight? Do one. Don't give me that rubbish, man. Don't try it. It's trash. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody apart from Deontay Wilder cheerleaders. Again, wipe that chin, yeah? And I even saw reports that this fight would be pay-per-view in the United States. You know, embarrassing. Deontay Wilder robbing his own fans. Embarrassing. I mean, this was a guy, Deontay Wilder, knocked out when he was undefeated on regular Showtime, when Luis Ortiz was a better fighter. Since Luis Ortiz got knocked out by Deontay Wilder, he's had 3 fights. One fight against Razvan Kajanu. He blasted out Razvan Kajanu in a couple of rounds. But the fights against Travis Kaufman and Christian Hammer, Luis Ortiz looked terrible. Terrible. Luis High Cholesterol Ortiz ain't getting any better. He's getting worse, he's getting slower, and he's there for the taking. And they're putting it on pay-per-view. A guy you've already seen Deontay Wilder knock out decisively. They're putting this on pay-per-view after Luis Ortiz hasn't done ish since. I mean, who in their right mind would buy this fight? You literally saw the better version of this fight on regular Showtime, and they're charging for the lesser version of this fight. Because like I said, Luis Ortiz is getting worse and worse and worse. He's getting fatter and fatter and fatter, and they're charging you for it, man. I hope this flops. I hope this does terribly at the box office. And I think it will do. But it's not the point. Boxing is a working class sport. And, you know, for this fight to be put behind a paywall, not a good look. And for those who say, well, you're from the UK, why do you care? Listen, man, I want boxing to be healthy everywhere. I want it to be healthy worldwide. And putting this fight behind a paywall isn't a good look. It's not. The only people who win are Deontay Wilder and his cronies. And maybe some of those clowns who, promote anything this guy does. Maybe they might get a cut. But you ain't winning. You've got to pay $75 for this rubbish. We've seen this before, man. We've seen this before. Mayweather Pacquiao. And you're letting it happen again. Listen, I ain't buying any of these fights until I get the fight I want. There's only maybe 2 or 3 exceptions. Fury Wilder 2. Fury Joshua, White Wilder, and also Usyk Joshua. They're the only other alternatives. If it's not any of those alternatives, or Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua, guess what? I'm not paying for it. Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz is an absolute joke. It's an absolute travesty for the heavyweight division, and I speculated quite some time ago that 2019 would be a write-off year for the heavyweight division. And it looks like that's the case. Tyson Fury has also gone back on his word about fighting Dillian Whyte. You know, he's acting like a clown. Anthony Joshua, well, he's fighting a guy in Andy Ruiz who is 2 Happy Meals off a mobility scooter. So these guys ain't doing crap right now. None of these guys are delivering. The only heavyweight fight I really care about coming up, well, there's 2 fights I really care about in the heavyweight division. The first being Daniel Dubois versus Nathan Gorman. Shout out to those guys for putting it on the line early. And also Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Rivas. That's a good fight as well. But apart from that, this division really isn't delivering. And, a lot of these top guys in the division need to be held accountable. But, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. They're too invested. They're going to fanboy over their favourite fighter, no matter what. I mean, look at some of the people who push Deontay Wilder. They say they're about that life. They sell the fact they are, from the streets. They've been to prison. And they try and sell the fact they're about that life, yeah. But they let things slide like Deontay Wilder wanting to carry a baby and experience pregnancy. Deontay Wilder saying some very suspect shit in the build-up to the Tyson Fury fight, like really suspect shit. They're about that life though. They don't tolerate that type of behaviour. Well, they do when it's Deontay Wilder. Maybe they learned that in prison to get by. Needs must and all that. These guys are absolute clowns. Absolutely embarrassing. And, the Deontay Wilder case, it kind of showcases or highlights the depths that fanboys will go to protect their favourite fighter or idol. Like I said, the proof is in the pudding. Look at some of the channels that pushed Deontay Wilder. If any other fighter said what Deontay Wilder said, these channels would be all over them. But when Deontay Wilder says it, crickets. Absolute crickets. They'll tolerate that type of behaviour. These guys are clowns. These guys are clowns willing to sell out their own beliefs to push their guy. And these are going to be the same people who tell you this is a good fight. If you buy this fight, what can we say? A fool and his money, easily parted, right? But yeah, embarrassing fight between Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder. The rematch, nobody cared about. If Deontay Wilder doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua next, why the fuck Luis Ortiz? At least try to pick somebody different. Why not Adam Kalnacki? At least he's unbeaten, coming off some good momentum, coming off a couple of decent wins. He's an exciting fighter. He's still fresh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Deontay Wilder would knock him spark out, but at least it's something different. But instead he chooses to fight that fat Cuban Luis Ortiz. Luis Old Tees. Luis Dusty Ass Ortiz. I mean, I'm so frustrated with this division right now. So frustrated. And I made a point on Twitter as well, actually. I put out a tweet. And you look at Manny Pacquiao. And yes, I know he's not a heavyweight. But the guy's 40 years old. 40 years old. And in his next fight, he's taking on a consensus top 5 welterweight in Keith Thurman, who's unbeaten, holds a title, and who's close to his prime. A 40-year-old Manny Pacquiao is fighting Keith Thurman when he doesn't owe us anything anymore. Manny Pacquiao owes us shit, and he's still delivering. Yet these heavyweights continue to take the absolute piss. Shout out to Manny Pacquiao. Incredible fighter, incredible athlete, fighting better competition than the likes of Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. The golden age of the heavyweight division, yet a 40-year-old Manny Pacquiao, who is well past his best, is delivering us better fights. That says it all. And that's sad, but like I said, shout out to Manny Pacquiao. He doesn't owe us anything. And he's still giving us fights. But these guys who do owe us the fights aren't delivering. And that's extremely frustrating. Like I said, we've gone through this before with Mayweather and Pacquiao. You would think us fans would learn our lesson. But here we are, happening again. And like I said, you guys know how I feel about certain channels out there just, allowing this and encouraging this to happen. Absolute scumbags. Like I said, I can't see it getting better anytime soon. 2019 is a write-off in the heavyweight division. Who's Joshua going to fight after Andy Ruiz? Pulev maybe? Listen, Pulev is a credible top 10 contender, but is anybody really interested in that fight? Not really. Who's Fury going to fight after Tom Schwartz? He's not fighting Dillian White, so God only knows who Tyson Fury is going to fight next. But there we go, Share your thoughts below. Tell me how you feel about this whole situation. Tell me how you feel about Luis Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder 2. Would you pay for it on pay-per-view if you're based in America? Share your thoughts below. Peace.